Hey everyone, welcome to Funny Side Up. Today, me and Jackson are not in person because in Southern California we have some rough weather today.
Yeah.
We're recording on March 17th, 2021, and weather around here is like deadly, so it's really actually not that bad right now. Things look pretty good outside, but I'm at my house on my computer and Jackson's at his on his.
Yep. We're social distancing, but not because of COVID. It is because weather.
Of deadly weather.
Deadly weather in SoCal.
Yeah. We had originally planned on meeting up, and then we both didn't realize until about the day of, but weather is horrible today, so...
Well, that's what they say. It seems completely fine at my house.
No, it was bad while I was at work for the most part, and then it looks like really nice. Well, not really nice out. It's still kind of gloomy, but...
I mean, I didn't wake up until 2, so...
Oh, yeah, that's the life. I assume your dentist appointment got canceled today.
Before we talk about my tooth, I thought you were going to apologize for the last episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we want to sincerely apologize for last episode's audio error. There was something we didn't realize, which me and Jackson both definitely should have, was when we were recording, the Audacity was only picking up the audio for my USB mic at my computer, which is why at the very beginning and the very end of the podcast, Jackson sounds crystal clear.
And then everything else is like in the fucking catacombs.
Yeah, we were all the way across the room, which is why it sounds like that. Just because my computer is set up across from the couches where we record the podcast, and so we were in the same room as the microphone, but all the way across. So we did our best to recover it. We didn't have time to re-record or anything, so we had to make do with what there was.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and apologize because I already hear my dog starting to bark now, and I don't think Will can hear it because we're in a Discord call.
I can hear it barely.
Yeah, like it's definitely going to show up once we combine the tracks. So yeah, also just an apology for that.
Yeah, this episode won't be super great either. Just for the fact that we're not recording together.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to sync up the audio and everything. But yeah, your tooth. Let's hop into that.
My tooth. All right, so let me take you back to 2013. I'm in 3rd grade. I'm a little baby, right?
Little child Jack.
Yes, and me and my brother are fighting over the Dish Network TV remote. I don't know what I wanted to watch or what he wanted to watch, but we wanted to watch something. And I am a stupid little idiot, and I grab the remote so fast that I pull it back and just slam it into my front tooth, and it just shatters into 3 pieces. And so then, I'm crying because, there's blood everywhere, and, I just shattered my tooth. I go to the dentist on an emergency trip because this is like 9 p.m. There's no way he's in right now. So we have to call him up there. And he says, oh, well, this isn't even really a chip. Like, you've actually fucking destroyed your tooth. And what I thought he did was he, like, fixed it, right? But
he just put a new tooth.
Yeah.
He just sunk that bad boy in.
Took it out the packaging at the shrink wrap and put it in. But here I am.
What?
I actually had to get a root canal as well because...
it was destroyed.
Yeah, like it was just rotting inside there. So I got that like a few months ago. And I'm chilling in bed about 3 days ago, and I go to bite my fingernail, and I heard this loud crunch. It sounded like biting into a Heath bar, right? And...
gross.
Yeah, I just like feel it with my tongue, and I'm like, yeah, my tooth just fucking broke again. So I go to the dentist the next day with a bit of my tooth in a little Ziploc bag, and and the guy's like, yeah, what the other dentist did was a good solution for a time. And I was like, what? Like, you knew this was gonna happen? And then they said it was gonna be $900 to fix it, to put a new crown in. And then my mom was like, nah. So I'm going to a different dentist.
My man looks like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I look like
Jim
Lloyd.
Carrey. Yeah. See, I couldn't have told you what his name was.
I couldn't have either, but
Lloyd
like,
Christmas.
is that his actual
I know
name?
his last. Yeah, I'm fairly certain his last name is Christmas.
Yeah, I couldn't have told you what his name was. Just someone just said that, and I was like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, they could have been wrong. Maybe that's the other guy, but that sounds right.
The other guy's
I don't
Harry.
know what the other guy's name is. Harry and Lloyd.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, that's right for sure. Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. I have had some of the strangest like teeth problems ever. I've got this condition where I'm actually missing like 6 or 7 adult teeth, and once you're missing like 5 or more, they just kind of lump you into this one term. But I haven't I can't remember what the actual term is, but yeah, they're just 6 adult teeth that were supposed to be in my mouth that do not exist. So it's very interesting.
Which teeth are they, like canines or what?
I've got, let's see, one of them's a canine. I think 2 or 4 of them are molars. Actually, it's just different teeth all around my mouth. Just didn't grow in.
Interesting.
They were never there. So
is that hereditary?
I think it might be because my half brother, who I share a mom with him, he's actually missing 5 or 6 teeth also. So I'm thinking it came from either my mom or just my mom's side of the family.
Interesting.
And if so, yeah. I thought I was just a fluke because my full brother and sister both have like pretty good teeth. Like both of them don't really have many dental issues. However, he came along. He's the youngest, and they found out that he's missing quite a few teeth. So yeah, I think it's hereditary.
Very strange.
But yeah, so I've got braces to try and just make the most of my shitty mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a pretty wicked overbite for a while. And like all my teeth were crooked, but like that got fixed. But then, this tooth came back to haunt me. Or it left to haunt me.
You literally just got your braces off, like not 2 months ago, right?
Yeah. Probably 1 month
ago.
That.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't remember exactly how long ago, but
yeah, it was very recent. So I spent all this time fixing this tooth that was just going to be gone anyway. So
yeah, I believe I've got a couple teeth that are like built upon because they were just kind of like weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually had half a tooth that I don't know what was wrong with it, but it looks about like what yours looks like. And they just threw some stuff on there, but now I've got just a tooth on like the wire of my braces that is just like a fake tooth.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
they just slap bonding on there or whatever. That's what they did to mine, and it was just like that for years. Like
it's surprising that it lasted that long because I had mine broke at least 2 or 3 times. One was from like cold pizza. Like I can remember for sure.
Why were you eating
not
pizza?
Kidding. Because Little Caesars out of the fridge is pretty good.
No, it isn't. Okay, that's a talking point.
Yeah, well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
What's your issue with cold pizza?
It's
better than microwaving it. Like reheating it in the microwave.
Absolutely not. Microwaving it?
Okay.
It's not bad at all.
No, see, I would rather have Papa John's is the best, and like when you eat it out of the fridge, like the bread is just that little bit more tougher, and it's just kind of like it's a nice little tug. Like there are just so many like nice things about a fridge pizza.
I feel more confident arguing that you should microwave your pizza than the other thing that I could argue, which is that Little Caesars is better than Papa John's.
You think Little Caesars is better than Papa John's?
I think Little Caesars beats everything. I'm serious.
Is that like in relation to price and taste?
Originally I would argue price, but no, literally like I just love Little Caesars that much.
I do think Little Caesars is very good, but and at the same time I hate
Pizza Hut.
I hate Pizza Hut. I hate Domino's. The only reason I like Domino's is because they have good wings and their sandwiches aren't bad. Like I've had a couple of their sandwiches and I like.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, they've got a good chicken parm. It's really greasy, but I really like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, their chicken parm's good. Their wings, they're like hot buffalo wings. I like actually crave sometimes.
You know, I had Buffalo Wild Wings once, and I ate wings there naturally, and they kind of sucked. Like, they were dry, and
I hate dry wings.
yeah, they just really weren't that good.
What flavor did you get?
I couldn't even tell you. That was a long time ago.
When I go to B-dubs, as the cool kids call it, I will usually either get mild wings or lemon pepper, or like half and half, and I only get flats. Like, anytime I go anywhere. Did we have an argument about flats?
I've never even heard you say that word before, so probably not.
Then that was an argument I had with an ex, so don't worry about it.
Okay, yeah. That's not the first time you've confused me with an ex for no good reason.
Okay, look, I've got really bad memory.
Yeah, okay.
No, I had... The differences between wings or drums and flats. They're the two types of hot wings you get.
Yeah.
The drums are the little like legs looking things, and then the flats are the wings, like the actual wings.
Yeah.
I argue that flats are a billion times better than drums.
I think they're both fine. I don't have a real preference as far as wings go.
I like to like pull the one bone out of the flat, and then you can just kind of like get the entire, like, I feel like there's a lot more meat on the flat, especially when you do that method of like pulling one bone out. They're both so small that you get like all the meat just in one go.
Yeah.
You get a good dip, you know?
Something I've thought about before is like chicken legs versus chicken breast. Like at whatever,
KFC, Popeyes.
Yeah, like I get that there's more meat on a chicken breast, but it's like I don't want to go through the effort of like combing through
tearing
it to
it
find
all off.
Yeah, it's like it's so much work when I could just have a leg and I like eat it and that's it.
But everyone knows that the leg is like the superior piece in like the chicken box, because everyone always like aims for the, unless you're a dad, like dads will go for the breasts, but that's because they don't get any in their regular day, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. I mean, usually I think it depends on who you ask. If they're like, if they still got it, you know.
No, even if they got it, they're married, so like they're not getting anything.
I mean, not inherently.
You don't get anything when you're married.
Well,
I'm making a
marriage. You would know that.
I've been married twice.
I would like to retract my statement.
Yeah, you didn't know that about me, did you?
No, let's talk about that.
Okay, so my first wife, she was an Indonesian call girl.
Oh.
Yeah, I was getting it a lot, you know, when we weren't married, but as soon as we married, she was at work so much that, you know, anytime she came home, that's not what she wanted. So.
What about the second?
You don't want to know about her. So my second wife, she was this really nice elderly woman who I met at that was the point. And I
could see that punchline from a mile away. You're a gold digger. I met her now.
I met her at the Aldi's, and I said, "Hey, old woman, why you at Aldi's?" And she said, "I'm here for all these nuts." And then she grabbed my scrotum, and I proposed on the spot because, you know, why would you not propose to a woman like that?
I can think of a few reasons.
She said yes, and I walked outside, and she was driving a you know
Prius.
what no you know what a Pinto is?
No,
it's like one of the worst cars ever manufactured.
I think it sounds familiar.
Yeah, I cut her brakes.
Oh, okay.
To say the least, she had no money.
To say the least, I think that's actually the most you could say.
Is it? Because I feel like there's a whole story about me cutting the brakes, about like our whole marriage.
Tell it.
There's a lot I could say. I'm not very good at improv. I mean, I'm not very good at recounting stories.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so her name was Matilda, not like the movie. She looked like
What way
Danny
is it
DeVito.
not like the movie?
Well, because she was born in like 1920, so like she actually her first husband was, or one of her lovers, she was the lover of JFK, believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
No, she was in Texas in 1963.
And she saw it all.
Yeah, she cried over his body whenever
I think you're thinking of Jackie.
No, whenever Jackie Kennedy like was climbing on the back of the car to like get his brains, old Matilda like went and cried over him for like a split second. Just watch the footage.
I've seen the footage. I've seen the Zapruder film like a million times.
The what film?
The Zapruder. That's the name of the guy that shot it.
Oh, I thought his name was Oswald.
No, different thing.
Oh, okay.
Oswald the Octopus or whatever the fuck he is on Nickelodeon. Is that what he is?
Oswald, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big blue octopus.
Yeah.
Do you think that do you have any, do you fully believe like everything that was told about the JFK assassination?
Well, nothing's even really told about it. Like
like Oswald was the only shooter.
I think it's very unlikely that he just acted alone, but like that makes a much cooler story in my opinion than any like Russian interference or what have you. Like if it's just one dude that went fucking nuts and like he just shot the president, that's a pretty cool story. Like,
yeah, he was a really big fan of the Russians. Like he had made several trips.
Wasn't he from Russia or something?
I don't think so. His mom might have been. One of his parents might have been. Yeah. I had to read a book in high school about him. Or, well, it was about Kennedy.
Kennedy?
It was indeed Killing Kennedy.
I have not read it. I didn't even read Killing Lincoln.
See, I was required to read Killing Kennedy, but not Lincoln.
Yeah.
Do you know about all the connections between Lincoln and Kennedy?
Yeah, I've heard like the long list of coincidences. Like Lincoln was killed by a 3-named man, and so was like both killers go by their full names, like John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald. Well, did they go by that, or was that like just a thing that
that's how they're known?
Yeah,
like you never really hear JFK being killed by Lee Oswald or Lincoln being killed by John Booth.
There was the one where like Lincoln was killed in Ford's theater, and then Kennedy was killed in a Ford Lincoln or something like that.
Yeah. And then both killers were hiding in like a library or depository or whatever.
Yeah.
The secretaries of both presidents shared the respective name of the other president, so like or something like that. I believe that was the case where like JFK secretary was Lincoln and vice versa.
Yeah, but
it's all very interesting. I think it's just a glitch in the Matrix. Like,
no, if you watch Vsauce's video on it, it's like if you find two unrelated things and you look hard enough, you will find plenty of coincidences. Like no matter what, you just gotta be looking for them.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You just gotta keep your eyes open. And I don't know. I guess since they were two presidents that were assassinated, people just started looking and people just started noticing things, and we're like, oh.
Yeah, people have too much free time.
Yeah, I agree. That's a big issue with people these days.
All these damn millennials and their free time.
So, have you ever thought about voice acting, Jackson?
I have. I've done it.
I know. Yeah, we've both like stepped our little toes into the pool. But,
I told you about that Minecraft machinima, right?
Yeah, but you never went back and did it. Right?
I never went back and did it, but I totally could have, because everyone was like, "Yeah, get this guy." But nah.
Yeah, I auditioned for at least like 8 to 10 performances.
I auditioned for 2 things, and that Minecraft machinima was one of them.
Look, I feel like if you audition for like every Minecraft machinima that's on that website, you're gonna get it. The website we used was like Casting Call Club, I believe.
Yeah, listen, if you want to fucking downplay my achievements just because it's Minecraft machinima, you can do that.
Okay, yeah, but what was the Minecraft machinima about?
Dude, I don't know, but I got the role.
Dude, imagine how sad he was that like he couldn't get you.
I got picked up by like Universal or something, like
Yeah.
a real studio.
I'd love to do voice acting. Like, I'd love to get a few actual gigs, but I really don't have the time right now.
I watched this video on like this guy who's like narrated like a bunch of commercials or whatever, and he goes by like Red Pepper or something, Red with 2 D's, and he has like this really, really uncanny voice where it's like, when people say gravelly, this dude has a gravelly voice. Like, it is unlike anything else. And apparently he got his job because he used to work a subway or something, and he was just like announcing a stop, and like some dude who was on the subway was like a movie producer and was like, hey, this guy will do the commercial. So he like offered him a job. But yeah, no, like that guy, he was born for it. I'll give him that.
Yeah, it's you just have to put your voice out there, and like if you want to be a voice actor and you think you have like you don't even have to have a marginally like unique voice. If you just put your voice out there, like it's gonna fit something that someone wants.
So when you say marginally unique, the first thing I thought was like the really deep, really cool voices like James Earl Jones, and then the second thing was Gilbert Gottfried.
Dude, Gilbert Gottfried, like imagine that the parrot in Aladdin without him.
I've never seen Aladdin.
Okay, well, you know how you do know who Robin Williams is, right?
Yes, I know who Robin Williams is. I know he was the genie.
Okay. Yeah, you know when he died and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, the genie died."
Yeah,
that's what it's gonna be like when Gilbert Gottfried dies.
Oh my god, the parrot died.
The parrot died. I don't know what his name was. It was like Toucan Sam, I believe.
That actually reminds me of a very unrelated fact, but you know, way long ago when like, you know, children were like in coal mines and stuff.
Yeah. Back during child labor laws not existing.
Yeah, like the late 90s, early 80s.
Today.
Yeah, but no.
If you look at the certain parts of the world, that's true. But
yeah, but I'm talking America. So yeah. The
before labor unions.
Yeah, they would keep like a canary or something in a cage down there, and if it died, they were like, we gotta go, there's a fucking gas leak down here. That's how they would know, as if the bird died.
That's smart. That's because of like them having like much smaller lungs.
Yeah, exactly.
That is actually brilliant.
Yeah, it just cost you a bird.
Besides the fact that yeah, you gotta go to the pet store every time that system like fails.
I mean, this was ye olden days. I figured you just pluck one out of a tree.
Oh yeah. Speaking of plucking birds out of trees, Jackson, do you have any hunting stories? You know,
I've never been hunting in my life.
Neither have I.
I don't want to go hunting. It'd make me feel bad.
Oh, would it?
Yeah.
Would you feel bad about killing an animal?
I mean, like, I don't think I'd feel that bad, but it's like I didn't need to do that.
What if you like? What if you killed something and you like knew you were gonna eat it or people were gonna eat it? Like,
no, that's the thing. Even if that was part of it, it's like, yeah, I get
you just
why
go to the
I did
store
it.
and get meat.
Yeah, like, I was just entirely unnecessary. That dude was just trying to walk around and shit, and bam, he's dead. He didn't ask for that.
Bambi.
Bambi. Yes,
I got him.
That was intentional. Have you
ever had deer? Like I think like
I have.
Dude, okay, deer has a very unique taste. I actually really like it.
It does, yeah, and it is good.
But you can't just go out and buy deer. I'm pretty sure you do have to go out and hunt.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. I'm actually sort of surprised there's nothing like Red Lobster for deer.
Yeah, that's a really good business idea, especially down here in SoCal. Like that would be crazy.
Yeah, I bet in SoCal that would go nuts. But it's good, right? But it's like I don't care enough to do it. No, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's very good, but
yeah,
I don't need it, and I'll be perfectly fine just staying in my house eating ramen or whatever.
That's true. I mean, I could live off of ramen. I could go my entire life without ever eating deer again, and I'd be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we should do the what Hindi people do with cows, but we should do that with deer, and then get
Just let them roam free.
yeah, and then we'll get killed for being different.
Dude, I would. I don't know, like what to think about just their utter like pun intended, like reverence for cows. Like they put cows above themselves, which is
Can they milk cows?
crazy.
Like, is
I
that,
feel like no. I feel like that's probably sacrilegious, which I don't know for sure, but I'll look it up.
yeah, go ahead and look that up. We need a citation on this before I
Yeah,
say something wrong.
I'm actually curious. Talk about how Brahmin from Fallout that's sacrilegious. Do you know about that?
I don't know anything about it being sacrilegious, and they're just like two-headed cows with like really disgusting skin.
Well, a Brahmin is the name of the Hindu god, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In Hindu tradition, cows are honored, garlanded, and given special feedings at festivals all over India. Cows give milk and cream, the yogurt, cheese, butter, and ghee. The milk of cows is believed to refine a person. So yeah, they definitely milk cows. It's just held really high.
Yeah. I mean, you can milk a cow without like hurting it, you know?
They're vegetarians, I think they're vegetarians, but they're not vegans.
Yeah.
So.
You know what's interesting? I was speaking to a guy who's actually Indian, and something I didn't know is that there are a lot of languages besides Hindi that they speak there. Like,
I know English is big over there.
yeah, English is the second largest, but like there's a bunch of like exclusively Indian languages. There's like 7 of them besides Hindi, or including Hindi,
Besides
I guess.
the big Hindi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People speak there, but it's, you know, it's so dispersed across the country that it's like its own little thing.
And
India's
that's
a big
different
place.
from accents, right?
Yeah, it's a
Like
completely separate language. All of them are.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he sent me a list of them, but like that was a really old DM, so I can't dig that up right now.
Yeah. No, see, that's interesting. Have I told you about the language that Swiss people speak? Switzerland.
I don't believe so. Why?
What would you guess is the language they speak? What do you think it's called?
Is it its own language?
Yeah, like Switzerland. What do you think the national language of Switzerland is?
Can I like plead the fifth on this so I don't sound like a dumbass? Is that an option?
I think there's an obvious answer. I just figured you would go for it. Swiss.
Yeah, if I say Swiss, yeah, you're gonna be like, no, you dumbass. It's Austrian.
I was gonna
say,
no. It is Swiss German.
Swiss German. Is it just a variant of German?
Nothing like German at all. Not in writing
Weird.
nor speaking. Yeah,
well,
it's called Swiss German.
That's the thing, though, right? Because like that's an English word, and that's where that's the strange part.
No. In Switzerland, it's called Swiss Deutsch, which is just it is directly translated to Swiss German.
I think you mean Deutsch.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Deutsch bag.
Get a load of this Deutsch bag. Yeah, no. Okay. So when we like use words to describe like countries with different languages, we're still using English words to talk about them. Germany is not a German word, right?
Yeah, dude, I've thought about that so much. Like the day I found out about Germany, like not actually being called Germany, that it's Deutschland.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, how many other nations are there that aren't what we call them?
And then it makes you curious as to what other places call the United States of America.
Right? I've thought about that too. Yeah.
What just other places call South California? Like, you never know.
Arkansas, I think. Utah. Some people call it Utah.
I'm a Utah.
It's also crouton. It's also really interesting to I always, anytime I meet someone that is either from another nation or something online, I always ask them to like just guess what part of America I'm from, just based off accent. And it's always really interesting because they're always like lump assumptions, and a lot of times like they'll guess right. Like it's not uncommon for a correct guess based off accent, but at the same time, it's interesting the states they immediately jump to in guessing.
Yeah.
And then eventually come around to where we are from.
Yeah, I usually get guessed as Midwestern, which, you know, I've got a lot to say about the term Midwestern. It's a really, really stupid term because, first of all, it's not Western. It's not particularly Western. It's the middle of the country.
Yeah.
And you may be saying like that's where the mid comes from, right?
Yeah.
But we already have Western clarified, so mid's got to refer to like, you know, verticality. But it's at the top of the country. It's the top middle. So like, where does Midwestern come from? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's really weird because I guess the way I would section off the country is like West Coast and East Coast, the South, the North, and then the Midwest. That's about how I would section everything off, you know?
Yeah.
Like pretty much the top ridge, that's the North. Most of the bottom ridge and towards the right is the South. East Coast is just like all the like colonies and stuff. West Coast is basically California over to like Nevada and maybe into Colorado. I would almost count that West Coast. Everything else, East Coast. But they're just like it covers so much land and it covers so many like states and like types of people.
We should have been quadranted. Is that a word? Off.
Yeah.
We have 4 quarters. You're in the top left, top right, bottom left. You're in one of those, and that could have been it, and that would have been easy. But no.
Yeah. America's not a exact rectangle, so.
Yeah, I know it's not an exact rectangle, but like still,
it could be roughly estimated.
Yeah, but I understand like they named some parts of the country like as it was developing, like when people talk about like the Civil War and all that, like Virginia used to be considered a southern state or whatever.
Yeah,
because they grew like tobacco, I guess. But you know,
yeah, they were more rural than industrial. Rural.
That's a difficult word to say. It's rural.
Rural. It's one word. It's one syllable.
Rural.
Okay, so on to other topics.
Well, you don't want to discuss the semantics of this word?
No, I don't. Okay, so this actually leads into a topic that I've written down. Perception of other countries and America, like Deutschland and other things.
Yeah.
On a much smaller, much narrower scale. What are your thoughts on like the perception from person to person? So like the whole theory that maybe we don't see the same colors the same way, or like maybe the things that the way I taste certain things aren't the exact same way that you taste certain things, like just because of either genetics or
and like
various things.
You if you had a favorite food and like your friend fucking hated it, like what would you give just so your friend could like try it the way you experience it, like just so they know like you're not insane or whatever.
Yeah. I've never thought about it in terms of like me like absolutely loving a food and someone else like absolutely like hating it. Yeah, that's a really good thing. It's like that's a really good way to bring it into light, is like we're definitely tasting the same food, like we're putting the same thing into both of our mouths.
Yeah.
But the way like our mind perceives it through our taste buds is completely different, because like I enjoy it but they do not. Like
yeah, and it makes you wonder how much of that is genetic or whatever, how much of that is your DNA and how your taste buds are perceiving it, but also what amount of that could have been influenced by like a different upbringing or something. Like that sounds like a dumb question, but Like, when I had cottage cheese for the first time when I was 6, I threw up, and I will never be able to eat cottage cheese again. But
Yeah.
if I had it for the first time when I was like 30, then who knows, maybe it'd be like my favorite thing in the world.
Which you could eat it again when you're 30, and you may find that you love it, and you may be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I hated it when I was 7 years old. Like,
yeah. Have you
like
heard
that?
your taste changes every 7 years or something like that?
I've heard that every cell in your body is replaced every 7 years. Like after a 7 year period, everything in your body is not the same as it was before.
I wonder if those two facts go hand in hand.
They may. That would make sense. I mean, under that assumption, all of your taste buds would be gone.
Yeah.
Like all your original taste buds. So like the new ones may be slightly different.
Yeah, it's like an old philosophical question or whatever where it's like
The identity question.
Yeah, like if ship sets sail, yeah, and every part of it's replaced by the time they get there, which one's the original or whatever?
Yeah, and if you took like each board, say like along the way, each board slowly needs to be replaced one by one because it's like rotting or whatever, but you take all the original boards and you build a ship out of the original boards, is that the actual ship, or is the ship that had all the boards replaced over time, is that the ship?
Yeah.
And I think one of the few answers, or one of the answers to that is like, depends on how you look at it. Like they are both the ship, or neither of them is the ship.
Yeah.
The ship only existed in that period of time when not a single board had been replaced when they were leaving the dock. But as time went on, as soon as the first board was replaced, you could argue that it was not the same ship.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing, right? Because like, the ship existing at all is just like a construct that we have. Because if you want
identity,
yeah, if you want to break it down to its bare things, these are just atoms that happen to be connected or not, or being held together with other things like nails. But nothing has like an actual physical backing. It's just our idea that these things are connected.
And that can be easily applied to a person, like a personality. Like you could argue that is the only, well, even then personalities change. Like your body day to day is not the same as it was the day before. Like,
yeah,
identity, like if someone thought about this way too hard, they would have a major identity crisis. Like if you getting so philosophical about oneself is a great way to grow as a person, but at the same time it's a good way to just like give yourself a rough night, you know?
Yeah, destroy yourself.
Yeah, you ever looked in the mirror? Like you ever had that day when you were young and you look in the mirror and you're like, wow, I'm a person. Like I exist in my mind.
Yeah, I've had that exact thing. I think if
everyone
you didn't have
does
that, then you're not a real person. I think you're a robot.
Yeah, no, like I think to a degree, yes. Like I don't know who I was talking to, but they were talking about like cavemen and mushrooms and how like when I think it might have just been a video on shrooms, but like a caveman maybe one day ate a shroom and it kind of expanded his mind because he was able to perceive things a little differently, and he was like, wow, he was conscious. Like he was like, oh my gosh, I'm a thing in this world. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like,
but now our brain is just at that point where we can look in a mirror and just kind of put the pieces together. And I think there's just a thing about a mirror where you're looking back at yourself and you can kind of move slightly and you can get an idea that there's something in this form, in this body, that is thinking. It's like everything is coming from your brain, but you perceive pretty much everything through your eyes. Like your eyes do 90% of like the intake. Like realistically, like you're doing a lot of hearing and tasting and smelling, but a majority of it is what you see is what you know.
Yeah.
And then everything else kind of adds to that knowledge. But when you look in the mirror, you can just have that like existential crisis where you start thinking about it. It's like, who am I really? Like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, there's this word that this philosophical guy,
Philosopher, yeah.
yeah, that he came up with. And I can't even remember what it was, but it's a term for the world as you perceive it, because he separated into layers of like the actual physical world and your perception of it. Because technically you can never really experience the world. All you can experience is your perception of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, at its root, what that means is, you know, you're going to be experiencing everything a few milliseconds behind because of the latency of your brain to your eyes, whatever. But that could mean like, you know, if you hallucinate, that's just your perception of reality. That's all you
just
can ever know,
it's
right?
Yeah. It's what you're like unfiltered. It's putting your perception through a filter. Like you're perceiving things differently, but it's still like it is real to you.
Yeah. And you don't have the option of perceiving the real world as it really is. That will never happen.
There's always something like in between you and what is truly there.
Yeah.
We sound like stoners, but like it is it's just how it is. I was going to segue into something interesting, talking about like the way people perceive themselves, and you said something earlier that was almost like directly quoting American Psycho, which we both like. I just recently watched, and you have been suggesting to a lot of people because you thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes.
And there are several scenes where Patrick Bateman is like staring in the mirrors, right? Like,
yeah,
like he just kind of looks at himself throughout the film, like at the very beginning when he's in the shower, and later on, right before he's about to kill Jared Leto, I believe he looks in the mirror.
Yeah. Like,
but
he makes it clear from the beginning that he knows that he is not normal. I'm pretty sure in the book he says something like, the only emotions I feel are disgust and jealousy.
In the movie, I think he says disgust and pain.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, because later on he also references that like he wants everyone to feel like the excruciating, like sharp pain that he feels constantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was disgust and pain.
Yeah, you know, the director for that movie was actually very unhappy that people like that the ending was so open-ended. Like, because
did he have like an idea of like how he wanted the ending to be, and people just Oh, I didn't know who directed it. Her
name was like Mary something, I think, but
Mary Shelley.
No. I don't
Do you know who that is?
She did, what's it called?
Oh, can you get this?
Is that Frankenstein or is that someone else?
It is Frankenstein, dude.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, because she saw people's initial reactions and how a lot of people were like, "Oh, okay, so like it never really happened." She's like, "No, it's not. That's not what I was trying to get at." Because
I figured certain parts happened. We talked about it, but we didn't get too in depth. But yeah, I definitely think there were parts of the film that definitely happened, but then there were several times where he was definitely like exaggerating things in his mind.
Yeah, because like, okay, first of all, spoilers for, you know, everything, because we haven't done that yet. Spoiler warning. But when like he's about to go on the shooting spree where he like kills cops and explodes a car, and the ATM says "Feed me a stray cat," like there's enough there to warrant you being like, okay, this is at best exaggerated. Mm-hmm. But towards the beginning of the movie, when he just stabs a homeless man and stomps his dog to death, like that's just real. Like that's just something that he's doing.
You can almost tell through the cinematography too that there's a difference. Like I think there are longer shots at the beginning with the homeless man, and then later on there are a lot more cuts between like either the ATM or the old lady or him. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of all over the place. Like, there's just a different tone in both those scenes that very, very well very, very well like shows that one is happening while one is like augmented to an extent.
Yeah. Do you know about American Psycho 2?
I know that it's a thing.
Okay, so very, very interesting film because, first of all, it stars Mila Kunis. So, like, I think that's her name. Meg from Family Guy.
Yeah.
Her.
Yep, that's Mila Kunis.
So, they made the movie, right? They did all this as its own thing, and then they were like, you know what? This is kind of like American Psycho. This can be the sequel to American Psycho. So then they fit in this.
So they filmed it all?
Yeah, they filmed the entire thing before they even decided it was going to be American Psycho 2. And then they added in this scene in the beginning where like she kills Patrick Bateman.
Really?
As like an 8-year-old or something. Like but the thing is, like the themes of like yuppie culture are so fucking strong with American Psycho. Like everyone's discussing business cards and getting dinner reservations, things like that.
That one room's called the Yuppie Sewer, isn't it?
Called the what?
The Yuppie Sewer.
Wait, what is?
When the one prostitute's like running through the house, like I think she goes into like the bathroom or something, and on the wall it says Yuppie Sewer.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You didn't catch that? Yeah.
Nah. But I mean, it's clear the entire thing is about yuppie culture, right? Like that's...
Yeah.
American Psycho 2 has absolutely none of that. Nothing of the sort. It's I would almost just call it like a slasher flick. It's a terrible movie.
What year did it come out?
It came out... I don't even know. I can look that up really quick, I
American
guess.
Psycho 2. I got Siri on it.
Yeah.
2002. It only came out a year later.
Oh, 2 years, isn't it?
I thought it was. Did it come out in 2000?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
American Psycho 2. I think it's at a... Dude, do you know what it had on Rotten Tomatoes?
What?
Take a wild guess.
8.
0.
0?
It had a flat 0. And do you know who the director of that movie was?
Who?
Morgan J. Freeman.
Morgan Freeman?
Yeah. If Morgan Freeman's middle name is J, then yes.
I'm gonna assume that's not him. It's like how there's Michael Jordan and Michael B. Jordan. Like they're very different people.
Samuel Jackson and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it...
Oh, yep, no, it's a white dude.
The author of the original book came out and was like, yeah, no, American Psycho 2 is dog shit. It's got nothing to do with anything I did. Which is good because it's a not very good film.
Yeah, no, and it got a straight 0.
Yeah.
What's the worst reviewed film that you actually enjoyed? Like, what is something that people really don't like but you love?
The Cat in the Hat, the live action with Mike Myers. Yeah.
Are you being for real?
I am.
Dude, I watched that not too long ago and I absolutely hated it.
Dude, it's I don't know. It's so sarcastic with everything that it does. Like, there's some really stupid jokes, I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah, it was not Mike Myers' best work.
When he's like trying to get the kids to like sign a waiver, and then there's like lawyers and they're just like, who are they? And he's just like, they're magical time or like time traveling elves or something like that. Like, it's just so fucking on the nose.
Yeah,
but not. I don't think on the nose is what I meant to say, but it doesn't matter. It's just really fucking sarcastic, and it's so different from its source material that I just kind of have to respect the hustle.
You know, have you read up on the controversy about Dr. Seuss?
I know he was like getting flamed on Twitter recently. I don't know what that's about, but I know he cheated on his wife that had cancer. I knew that for a long time.
Yeah, I knew that. I've known that part too. I don't know why he's getting roasted, but I think he got pegged as a racist or something.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Guy wasn't very good.
Yeah, no, he wrote children's books, but he was a shitty person. But
Yeah.
It's weird that like people grew up on those books, and arguably they are like fantastic children's books because they kind of the dude was, if he wasn't on drugs, then dude had a weird mind.
Yeah.
And if he was on drugs, it'll just promote more stoners, to join his cause.
Yeah.
But it definitely like promotes creativity in kids, like just thinking about all those wacky words that he uses. Like,
yeah, it's like how I'm sure lots of kids heard about what he did and they're like, no, man, because like he made my childhood or whatever. But then like it's the same thing with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was in a lot of kids shows, and then he's actually a rapist. Okay,
Oh, yeah, no. Throughout, like that's the thing. Like when he was in all those kids shows and stuff, he was out date raping people. So like,
yeah,
dude, did you hear that? This could be like completely wrong. But I heard that very early, like this one girl was like about to come out about him, and he like paid her off, and he like sent her so much money, and she came out about him anyways. And Bill Cosby asked for the money back, and she wouldn't give it back to him.
I mean,
so he raped her, paid her to be quiet. She wasn't quiet, and then asked for his money back.
She played that fucking well. That's a checkmate right there.
I mean, would you not do that? Like, dude's a millionaire. Like, you knew you could get some money to stay quiet, quote unquote. But if you don't sign a paper, you don't have to.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Well played. That's all I have to say. But
poor Puddin' Pops, man. That's all.
I don't
know. He was a horrible person.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I don't know if you should say poor Puddin' Pops, man. Maybe like, fuck you, Puddin' Pops, man.
Yeah. Fuck you, Puddin' Pops, man. No, dude was a shitty dude, but he was funny. So like, the way I see it is, there are a lot of people that have done a lot of stupid things, and everyone is human.
Yeah.
Like, dude was a horrible person, but it won't prevent people from still enjoying his like comedy or shows he was in. And like, in that case, is it wrong to still like enjoy things that he did, even knowing that like he was a horrible person? Like, is it wrong to enjoy Fat Albert? Because
was he Fat
creator.
Albert?
I'm pretty sure he was the creator.
Interesting.
I mean, he's got a cameo in the Fat Albert movie with Keenan.
Yeah, I would first of all argue, yeah, you can still enjoy it because art is separate from the artist.
Yep.
But also I would like to say, while on this topic, there's an episode of Fat Albert where a kid gets shot and dies, and I just think that's fascinating.
Isn't there an episode where like there's a special needs student, and like the teacher straight up calls him retarded?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it doesn't age well.
She tries to beat around the bush, and then like Fat Albert doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they drop the word, and then it's like, oh, yeah. I see.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
There's this thing someone said.
He didn't understand.
Because like everyone's talking about like pedophiles in Hollywood or whatever.
Yeah. It's been on the in the top. It's been the big thing for years now.
It's like
not pedophiles. It was rapists for a while, and now it's pedophiles.
Yeah, if LA Noir has taught me anything, it's that there have been pedophiles in Hollywood since like the 40s. So,
yeah, no, there have definitely been, because there are like countless child actors that like end up coming out saying like directors were like either real pervy with them, or like Britney Spears back in like 2000s. She was highly sexualized at a very young age.
How young is very young? Because I don't actually know that much about her.
I'm pretty sure she started out in like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or whatever. The Mouseketeers or whatever. She was like 12, and that's when it like started, I think, because that's when she started getting really big. A lot of people actually started there, like her, Justin Timberlake, and a few other people.
Yeah,
actually got their start there.
Yeah.
But I want to say she might have been 12, and when what is the one where she like dresses up as the schoolgirl? Is it Hit Me Baby One More Time?
dude, I have
I
no
want to say
idea.
she was like, well, I like pop. I like early music. I like old music. And that's
Yeah.
not even that old. But yeah, I'm pretty sure she was like 16 when that came out, and she was in like a slutty like schoolgirl outfit. So like, once again, highly sexualized at a young age.
Yeah.
And like that was just in the 2000s. Like I imagine Shirley Temple was highly sexualized for her age.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
I'm
they would
just
have
kidding.
had some standards
That
back
Shirley,
then, but
yeah, no, the Shirley Temple thing is not true. I just made that up.
no, I mean, I actually wouldn't be surprised if it was to some degree, but like,
Okay, the lady that played Dorothy in Wizard of Oz.
yeah.
Isn't there a whole thing about her where I think she got married to like either an abusive man or like a rapist or something, and she divorced him, and then Hollywood like shunned her or something like that?
I don't know anything about that, but I know that they like gave her pills, like diet pills, like keep her figure and stuff, and
Yeah.
like some drug. Like I don't know if it was like an over the counter or what have you, but like
I
just
think it was Quaaludes.
I don't think it was Quaaludes. They gave her
Okay.
some shit to like keep her awake during filming because they like filmed for so long.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, that movie kind of fucking ruined her. And I heard like, you know, about her getting like slapped and shit when she like messed up lines. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I could be misremembering. I could be thinking of something else, but like that's in my mind right now. So
Judy Garland was her name.
let me just say, citation needed on anything I just said.
1939 was when the movie came out, so I wouldn't be surprised. Like she was probably one of the first like leading actresses. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because that movie came out in 1939. I believe it was the very first like colored film, right? It was the first
Maybe.
film to have color in it.
I was gonna ask.
Um,
This sounds like a dumb question after you ask that, so I need to clarify. It's not because you said that. But when did Casablanca
Mhm.
come out?
1920s, I think.
Yeah,
Let me
that
see.
sounds right.
Actually 1942.
Really?
So afterwards, Casablanca does it? It's all black and white, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's black and white.
Let me look up first color film. I know the first one with talking was a Charlie Chaplin film, wasn't it?
It may be.
It was like The Pianist or something like that.
When I hear first colored film, I don't know why, but I want to say Disney, even though like I'm like almost certain it isn't. But like Snow White pops into mind.
Well, apparently there was one from 1901. But yeah, no, apparently it's not Wizard of Oz.
It's like buying a 3D TV in 2008. It's just like way too early of technology, so no one wants to do it.
Well, apparently 1902. You know that film where the rocket hits the moon?
Oh yeah. It's got that
That-
weird ass face on it.
Yeah, that might be one of them. There's a picture of these three kids staring at a fishbowl, but yeah, if it wasn't one of the first color films, it was one of the first like mass produced color films.
Yeah.
People always recognize it as the first, but it might not have been. It was still 1939, a colored film, which even then they weren't very popular. Like, I mean, with Casablanca not too much later, and it being a huge film. I don't know if it was then, but it is now.
Yeah.
It did have a leading actress. Like, it wasn't she was surrounded by like four dudes, but she was still technically like the main character of the story. And I wouldn't be surprised if she was like abused on set.
I'll be honest, I don't know anything about Casablanca.
I know it's got that plane scene.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I know they parodied the plane scene in Fred. I think Fred too.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Really?
That's
Do
the
you
only
know-
reason I know about it, and that's what makes me sad.
Yeah.
Like I've heard about it, right? I mean, it's a very important movie, very historically important. But yeah, no, I know about it for Fred too. So
Did you know that I believe one of the first films to have a swear word in it was Gone with the Wind? Right at
frankly,
the very
madam,
end when he
I
says,
don't give a damn. Yes, I'm
"My
familiar with
dear,"
that
frankly,
one.
my dear.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. I don't see that. I haven't seen that movie.
I've actually seen it. It's just about the South.
Awesome.
Either post or pre-Civil War or both. Yeah. I mean, it's a fantastic film. Like, it is long. Like, it takes almost a full day to watch, but
How long is it?
like 6 hours, I think.
Wow.
It's like, yeah. Which is like the impressive thing is from beginning to end, like you have to really want to watch it if you're gonna pay attention the whole time, you know?
There was this movie that I'm reminded of now, and I can't remember what it's called, but it was like this horrible, horrible fucking film where they like killed animals on set to make it, and they did this marketing thing like once the movie was about to come out where like the actors went missing, and it was like a publicity stunt, but like they actually tried the fucking director for like manslaughter, and of course it came out like once the actors were like still alive. But I really want to remember what the name of that movie is, because like,
Are you referring to the Blair Witch?
it is not Blair Witch. It is
They did some very similar things for Blair Witch.
Yeah,
like
I've heard
viral
about
marketing.
that.
Because they really tried to market it as a found footage film, like a legitimate found footage film,
Yeah,
and a lot of people believed it was.
what I know about the Blair Witch Project is that it had like no budget and it did really fucking well.
I can't remember if there's a whole thing about either the actors didn't quite know each other, but they had like little bits and pieces of the script that they each knew and knew what they were doing, and some of them knew what was going to happen, some of them didn't.
Yeah.
I believe that that's the case. If not, that's like folklore.
Yeah.
But I've never seen the Blair Witch, but I know pretty much the entire plot, and it's a very like interesting film, and everything around it is very interesting. And I don't think anything could ever come out like it again, because a lot of people believed that it was like actual found footage, and which is weird because like technically like all three of them die.
Yeah.
Spoiler for a movie that came out in 2000. Yeah.
The movie I was thinking it was called Cannibal Holocaust.
I've never heard about that.
Let's see. I'll go ahead and read the description. During a rescue mission into the Amazon rainforest, a professor stumbles across lost film shot by a missing documentary crew whose goal was to study the region's indigenous cannibalistic tribes. And yeah, I mean the box art.
I think
like
I know what
shit.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is there like if you go to images, are there a couple of them like standing by a river, like on some grass?
Yeah, kind of looks like that.
Yeah, I think I've got a vague memory of that. Do you know about a Serbian film? I believe it's called.
That sounds familiar.
It is, from what I believe, like one of the like goriest and like just over the top, like nastiest films ever made, and it's bad. Like I want to say there's like I don't even want to talk about it. From what I remember, it is not like I would have to research it to give you more, but it is rough.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like really graphic, like gore and a lot of like sexual like things, like rape and such. You know, the bad stuff.
Yeah, I figured. But yeah, this film, someone just brought it up in some Discord server one time, and I was just like reading about it, and I was like, well, damn, this thing actually exists, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But now that you mention it, I have heard of a Serbian film or what have you.
Yeah, I believe that's the title of it. But yeah, I think we're probably at the end of this bizarre episode of us just kind of chilling, having relaxing conversations.
Yeah, fireside chat with FDR, whoever the hell did that.
Yeah, I think that's about gonna wrap this episode up. Thank you all for tuning in to this very chill episode.
If you made it this far, comment Cannibal Holocaust. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do not do that. Comment Fred 2.
Yeah,
I don't care that one.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you all for listening. Check out the website, drop either a comment on the YouTube video or on the website for a Q&A episode eventually. We'll answer questions. Subscribe to the YouTube. Share with a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend if you've made it this far.
Yeah, pass it on.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for listening. Have a good night. Have a good morning whenever you're listening. I think that's going to be all for us. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.